the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. This is the Ramsey Show, where we help you win in your financial life, your professional life, and in your relational life. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell joining me this hour as we take your calls, America. You might just be one phone call away from that nudge you've needed to go the direction you believe you're supposed to go. Maybe you're going to get breakthrough. But I can tell you this, George and I have a blast serving you in the capacity of just that sounding board, that advisor, that coach. And so George will help you with your money questions. I'm on deck today to help you if you want to get a bigger shovel in the form of maybe pivoting into a different field, or maybe just a promotion where you are, to get out of debt faster, start that side hustle. George and I are combined today to talk about those issues. So, you ready to go?
Yes, Ken. You look tan and happy this afternoon.
Well, I appreciate that. I just walked off the golf course.
Wow.
You know, thank goodness for the showers at the old club and zipped right in here to help America.
I love it.
It's been a good Friday already.
Absolutely.
So let's go. Jason starts us off in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Jason, how can we help?
Yes, I'm currently on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and I want to pay off my house as quickly as possible, but at the same time, I realize I need to put away money for things like 5 years. I need a roof, HVAC, replacement car, things like that. I'm just not quite sure how to go about it properly.
Okay, so you've got some extra money that you want to throw towards the house, but you also have some big upcoming expenses years from now. So you're going, how do I plan for this? That's a great question. Are you doing a monthly budget currently?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So in your monthly budget, what I want you to do is have line items for sinking funds. And so all that means is every single month you're going to put away $50 into this fund. At the end of the year, you've got $600. After 3 years, it's $1,800. And so you build that based on what you think the repair will be and when you will need to do it.
Okay.
So do you have any idea? I know it's hard to guess when you're going to need to replace a roof, but you said you've got about a 5-year time horizon?
Yeah, my house was built with like the cheaper type of products, and the house is 17 years old, so I'd say it has 5 to 7 years left.
Okay. So if you guess the roof's going to be $10,000, we're going to divide that by 5. That's $2,000 a year, and now we know exactly how much to put in our monthly budget to hit that goal.
Okay.
But I love your thinking, because what most people do is they go, well, it's an emergency. But truthfully, an emergency needs to be urgent, necessary, and unexpected. And this roof is in poor condition, so we know we're going to have to replace it. So I would be about the business of paying off that house early and have those sinking fund line items in your every dollar budget so that you're ready when the time comes.
Yeah, great advice. Jason, appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Great question.
George, you're Mr. Insurance Guy. You got an Instagram.
I don't know that's a good personal brand, but I appreciate that.
Well, you have an Instagram reel that's quite popular
insurance.
About all the types of crazy insurance. But are you aware, and I'm bringing this up, it's relevant to Jason. I know you're going, where are you going with this? But if you have hail damage that has happened to your roof, within a certain amount of time, your insurance could end up paying for the roof replacement, even if you have other issions. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, you got to read the fine print.
You got to have a good roofer, and you got to know your policy.
Exactly.
And a good roofer who knows what they're doing can be your advocate to help you get most of that paid for. So It's just something to think about.
Yeah, and you'll need to have good proof, and so it's wise to do it as soon as it happens.
As soon as it happens.
Get a roofer over there.
Well, there's like a statute of limitations. There's about a length of, but look at your policy. But it's something to look into.
Yeah.
I feel a little scared stepping into your area.
No, not at all. It's a great call out, and a lot of people aren't aware of what does my insurance cover? I haven't looked at my policy. And truth be told, looking through one of those insurance policies, I mean, it is dreadful.
Gosh.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
Yeah.
But we just did a campaign called Confidence in Your Coverage. It's completely free, and you can get it at RamseySolutions.com/confidence. And I walk you through over 5 days, 5 real short, fun videos, everything you need to know about insurance, and make sure you get a checkup, because a lot of people are, number one, underinsured, and number two, overpaying.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a great way to get a raise. RamseySolutions.com/confidence.
There it is. RamseySolutions.com/confidence. It really is fun. George and the team did a great job with that, and it's actually really helpful.
I try really hard, as you know.
You do well. James is up next in Chicago, Illinois. James, how can we help?
Thank you so much for having me on.
You bet.
I just wanted to ask, I'm a junior in high school, and I'm going into my junior year. And I've saved up a bit of money from various jobs I've worked and gifts I've received, and I want to be a good steward of it and want to invest some of it. And if you were me and had $1,000 to invest somewhere, where would you suggest doing it?
James, first of all, I want to say that you are like a 60-year-old man trapped inside a 15-year-old body. How are you so mature, so young? Do you have some great parents?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my parents have really helped me out with investing advice and learning how to manage my money, and I really have them to thank for it, and also my grandpa.
That is awesome. Well, to your question, you got $1,000. Where should you invest it? Number one, I want you to invest it in James because you're 15. You got a lot of life ahead of you. Your education goals. You're going to need to save up and buy a car. There's a lot of life expenses to where I don't want you to have no liquid cash because it's all tied up in investments. But to answer your question truthfully, you could open a Roth IRA, custodial Roth IRA, and if you have earned income, and you can put that money in there and invest that in good growth stock mutual funds inside of that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, James, for the call.
15 years old.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And very mature, very professional.
Yeah. And a junior.
Yeah, that was another question. I guess that's fairly normal. 15, 16, or 17 you're a junior.
George. Yeah, usually 16-ish is where you are.
Because you've got a kid who's about that
I have a
age.
16-year-old junior, so he's a little bit ahead of the game. It feels like in every area of his life.
Well, clearly James is. This guy's going to graduate next year.
That's who I was talking about.
Yeah. Your son, who knows? That's a whole nother story.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He's a good kid.
Hey, every time you hear someone do their debt-free scream on this show, it's because they, at some point, said, enough. I'm not going to live like this anymore. I've had it. And when you get mad like that and do what they did, your life will change, too. Right now, inflation and your stupid credit cards are killing you. You've started to believe you are not in control of your money. Wrong. You are in control. But you have to decide to control what you can control, and that's you, your behavior. You've got the power to change your future, and Financial Peace University will show you how. This course will teach you the proven step-by-step plan that's helped nearly 10 million people beat debt, master budgeting, and build wealth, and you could do it too. Stop letting debt and money stress control your life. Say enough. And decide to take back control. Start Financial Peace University at RamseySolutions.com/enough. RamseySolutions.com/enough. I like that. I like the enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's got a lot of emotion to it, which is how people are feeling.
Yeah, and I think that's true. Hey, I will say this. Just some positive news. July jobs report came out, and we added 500,000 plus jobs. So the sky is not falling. I continue to say that despite all the negative news and everybody trying to scare you to death, this is a baby recession. I don't think this is a big, bad, bully recession. So everybody relax. The economy's still adding jobs despite high inflation. So it's going to be okay. Hang in there. All right. Speaking of it's going to be okay, it's going to be fantastic. Because coming up, more of your calls, America. He's George Kamel. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
Helping you win in life, in your money, in your work, in your relationships. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Camel, my colleague and fellow Ramsey personality, joins me as we team up to help you on this fine day. So if you are feeling stuck, you got a toxic boss or toxic team, or you feel like you're in a dead-end job and you're like, I'm in the baby steps, can I move? The answer is yes. And I can help with that today. And then, of course, George is here helping answer your money calls. So let's get to it. Edwin joins us in the Big Apple, George, New York City, New York. Edwin, how can we help?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call. You can hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So my question is, I think I'm ready to move out. I'm 22. Should I build an emergency fund before moving to another state? I want to move to another state as a whole.
Do you have a job lined up there?
No, I don't.
Do you know where you're going to live?
Yeah, I want to go to South Carolina, somewhere in South Carolina or Florida. No snow, no cold.
Okay, and you're going to rent an apartment somewhere over there?
Yeah, I'm looking at about like $800 a month is what I could afford.
Okay. What's your take-home pay?
On the minimum, $40,000 for my full-time job. If I do my part-time or get any part-time, I think I could do about $50,000.
Okay.
So before George gets through the money stuff, are you planning to save up enough to then get on the ground in South Carolina and then look for a job? Is that the idea?
Well, that's my question. I've never got out my parents' house. Should I just, because I've listened to a few Ramsey videos before about moving out, should I just get out there and get my rent and worry about the emergency fund later? Or should I lock down a
I don't
job?
want you to worry at all about anything. That would be my plan. And that means having a job lined up and having money in the bank.
I'd have a place to go, and I'm talking about a professional place to go in South Carolina. I'd get a job, and
Gotcha.
and there's no need. And here, I mean, look, could you, and George can weigh in here, and he's going to tell you how, and he's a genius on this stuff.
Thank you.
But could you save up enough money and get to South Carolina and, then find, but it's just not necessary.
It's going to add stress to it.
Yeah, there's no need for an interruption in income. This is one of the strongest job economies we've ever seen. Again, I just mentioned this, Edwin, if you didn't hear me. The July jobs report, we created another 500,000 jobs. So we still have somewhere between the latest numbers, 10.6 and 11.3 million jobs out there. So it's still a wonderful market. And here's the deal. You can find something down there, take several trips. I'd be saving up money to make some trips down there, make some connections, decide where I'm going to work, then where I'm going to live, and then not have any interruption in income. George?
Yeah. Edwin, what's driving the urgency? It feels like you're kind of done living with the parents, and it feels like there's something behind that.
Yeah, so for 22 years, I've mainly lived with my mom and grandma, and like my step-grandpa, but he's not really in the picture. So, I've lived with two ladies mainly my whole life. My grandma's getting a little old now, and my mom is kind of putting pressure on me, like I got to be successful and take care of her for my mom. And then my mom also puts pressure, like, well, I got to take care of her when I'm also successful. So it's just a lot, I feel like I'm striving compared to my parents. So
are you saying if you moved to South Carolina, you'd have obligation to take care of grandma?
I'd have less obligation because my mom also lives in the house with us. So like, she's an adult, but at the same time,
I'd want you running to something instead of away from something. And so that's where I'm trying to dig at here. To make sure that we're going for the right reason and not just because, man, I don't want this pressure from mom anymore. I'm getting out. I want you to move out and be on your own. What do you do for work? Making 40, 50 grand a year?
I'm a CNC machinist right now.
Okay. Have you looked to see if there's jobs like that in South Carolina?
Oh, there's plenty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about the mom issue. Is she financially stable, or does she have no retirement? What's her financial outlook?
Nah, she's not stable. She's lived with my grandma for basically whole adult life. I think I make more than her right now. She works for Honeywell, which is pretty good, but I make more than her. Mm-hmm. And she just told me, like, why should I give more money to the man? And why should I put in more than 40 hours a week? And I'm like, if you want something in life, a certain thing, you're going to have to just, sacrifice and put in some more hours and, take more taxes off. I don't know, but
I'm guessing, considering she's the one who powdered your butt, she doesn't want to hear it from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I talked about Roth IRAs and, paying off your student debt, Mom. You're 45, and she doesn't want to hear none of it. So I
got to tell you,
well.
I think, Edwin, you moving out is a good move. I don't think you need to feel this burden, no matter what Mom says, to take care of her. I think in some ways, you getting out on your own and becoming a baby steps millionaire, showing her what you've done. She's still really young. And, she can turn things around. But instead of you telling her, I think you've got to model this for her. And I do think the move is good. But our advice is go find something in South Carolina. And so there's no interruption in income. And you're off and running.
Yeah, if you got no debt and a fully funded emergency fund and a job lined up, this is going to be a fun move. And you're going to look forward to something instead of get there and be stressing out.
Yeah. Thanks for the call. Edwin Salvador joins us next in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Salvador, how can we help?
Hey, Ken and George. Thank you guys for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
You bet. What's happening today?
So me and my wife have been doing the baby steps. We've been about 2 months in. We've already paid $4,500 in credit card debt, so
Nice.
We're officially free from that.
Great.
And we have a little bit of a fun argument here. We got 2 pieces of debt left besides our house. We got the car debt and the student loan payment debt.
How much is the car?
Is $4,000.
What is it?
Oh, the car is $12,600,
Okay.
and the student loan is $4,000. And my question is, we have enough money to pay off the student loan like today if we wanted to. We could pay that off, just go online, make a payment, and we're done. And that's what she's wanting to do, but I'm wanting to put as much money towards that $12,000 payment because the student loans are on pause right now. I don't believe we're going to get a student loan forgiveness, but
You're not.
Just knowing that I don't have to pay that for a month right now, I'm wondering which one we should go to next. So that's why I'm calling.
Well, it's a great question, and I think your wife is right on this one. And if you're following our plan, and in our plan, we don't take into account what's happening with the White House and what are they going to do or not going to do, and is it pause and is it 0% interest? All we look at is the smallest balance. What is the next smallest debt we can knock out today to feel the progress, to stay motivated, to become completely debt-free? Mm-hmm. And so when you look at it with that kind of tunnel vision, you go, all right, the student loan's gone today, and we're off to the races with the credit card. How much do you guys have in savings?
So we do have the emergency fund, the $1,000 emergency fund, and we have a little over $3,000 into that in our savings. So a little over $4,000. If we wanted to pay the student loan off, I'm actually selling a lot of stuff on eBay to make money. So it's doable to pay that student loan off immediately.
Well, don't do that if it's going to mean dipping into that starter emergency fund, because this is not an emergency. Now, once you have that eBay money in your bank account, then we can pay that student loan off in full. Is that one loan? That's $4,000?
Yes, and
okay.
That's all me.
So we're talking maybe a week or two from now. You've got actual $4,000 sitting in your account outside of the starter emergency fund. Clean up that student loan debt, and we can get rid of that car debt soon after that. What's your household income?
Yeah, my wife's a stay-at-home mom. We have a 2-year-old, and I'm making $50. So at the start, we were only making $40, and I got a kick in the butt from Dave Ramsey and all that. So I got a promotion, and now we're making $50.
There we go. Well, you'll clean up that car loan in no time, man. Keep selling stuff on eBay. Get side hustles. Let's get rid of this thing in the next year and be completely debt-free and on our way to building wealth.
Did you hear that? George Salvador got himself a promotion.
He took control, Ken.
He got himself a promotion. Bigger paycheck.
Bigger shovel.
Bigger shovel. Hey, who can I help today get a better job with a better paycheck? Come on.
Let's go.
All right.
Give us a call, 888-825-5225.
This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome.
They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
The Ramsey Show continues to take your phone calls to give you hope-filled, practical steps to win in your money, your work, and your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman. George Camel joins me this hour as we take your calls. Phoenix, Arizona is where we go next. Joe joins us there. Joe, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for the call. How are you doing?
Well, we're doing fantastic. How can we help?
So let me give you a very quick financial snapshot. I make $85,000 a year. My wife makes about $10,000, but she just started her new business, so that's only going up from there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working at Company A. I like my job, but I also hate debt at the same time, and we're looking to buy a house at the moment. So I have this potential opportunity at Company B, and I really seem to like that this new job as well. And it puts us in a place in a market where it's actually possible for us to eventually buy a house completely debt-free.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, should I take the plunge, go for this new job, or should I just stick around in Company A?
Sure. Are they in the same industry, or are they completely different industries?
Same industry.
Same industry. And how similar is the work at this new opportunity at Company B? Is it totally different, or is it similar to what you do now?
It's similar, but it also aligns more with what I actually want to do in my career.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
That was my next question, and you answered it for me, Joe. So that's a really good sign. How much more money will you be making initially?
About 15% more.
15% more.
Sounds like it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how confident are you that you will grow beyond the 15% in the next, let's call it, year, 2, 3 years?
Pretty confident because Company B is a lot smaller than Company A, but they are really good in what they do or in their business area.
Have they offered you the job?
Easier to grow there. Almost. So they want to invite me to the location for a tour and stuff at this point, and then they want to make me an offer. So
Great. Well,
that's where I am.
If they make you an offer, and you have found out beyond everything you just told me that it's also a really good culture, you want to do your homework, talk to people who work there, do some homework online. What do their customers say about them? You know, you want to do your homework just to get an idea. What kind of people are they? How do they treat their people? And if it looks like a healthy organization, it feels like a no-brainer, and yet you called to say, what should I do? Do you have any concerns that we haven't heard?
Well, so the thing is, I've only been at Company A for about a year now, and I just feel conflicted within myself. Like I'm probably gonna, make my managers and my bosses mad if I leave here, right?
I've heard this call many times before, George. On the Ken
Don't want to
Coleman
upset
Show.
anyone. I get it. I'm a people pleaser, Ken.
Well,
so I have that feeling of
we all do.
I don't want anyone mad at me.
That's what it is. So it comes across in the form of guilt, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, but here's the deal. You're not doing anything unethical if you were to leave Company A. True or false?
Yeah, it's not unethical. It's not illegal or anything.
Oh, you answered my next question. I like Joe. He gets ahead of me. And
one step ahead.
I like this, Joe. Yeah, Joe, there's nothing for you to have any guilt about. Do you understand? So, Joe, so George nailed this. It always presents as guilt But what it really is a fear of what someone's going to think about you and a fear of what someone's going to say about you when you leave. And that's normal. So,
and the truth is, you can leave in a lot of ways, and a lot of people do it poorly. And there's a chunk of people who do it really well and respectfully, and they leave on good terms, quote unquote.
Well, and that's a very good point, George. But, Joe, even if you leave well, there's some people that just will be nasty. And there's nothing you can do to control that. So,
I take it as a compliment because that means they miss me.
Oh,
they're going to
right?
miss me, yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think, Joe, this is a no-brainer.
They've all been really good to me, so that's making me feel all the more conflicted.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Are you going to regret if you pass this up?
I could, maybe. One of the things is that wife and I are definitely wanting to move out of Phoenix ever since we got here.
So does Company B allow you to move out? So does Company B allow you to move out of Phoenix?
That's correct.
Joe, you're making a heck of a case, man.
It checks off all the boxes.
I don't know why. Listen, you should not be conflicted anymore. You will resent, listen, you will resent this company and you will resent yourself if you don't do this. Okay?
Okay, understood.
Yes. All right, man. Hey, listen, rip the Band-Aid off. Only after they offer you the job and you got a signed contract, then resign and leave well and keep your head up and keep looking forward. Appreciate the call, Joe. Jesse's up in Columbia, Missouri. Jesse, how can we help?
Hey, Ken. Hey, George.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing great, man. I'm just nervous. Oh, so
well,
excited.
Don't be
nervous. I couldn't even believe I talked to Austin. I can't even believe
Well,
it.
now, Austin's a big
He's
shot.
world famous.
He's a cool dude. You ought to see the hat this guy's wearing today. But George and I, no need to be nervous talking to us. I mean, we're just a couple of chuckleheads.
I'm
all right?
5'6" on a good day. I'm not intimidated.
That's in his platform shoes. What's up?
Okay, so I am. I'm 21 years old. I make over 100K right now.
Oh.
I've been very diligent. Since out of high school, I was going to go to school, but it just wasn't my route.
Atta boy.
It worked out for you.
Atta boy.
Oh,
what are you doing now?
All glory to God. All glory. I do foundation repair. I'm a foreman for a company here in Columbia.
Heck yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. What's your question?
Okay. So my real question is, right now, I've got my emergency fund. I'm out of debt. I mean, my life's in good shape right now, completely. But really, I would say the next step would be, of course, buying a house eventually. I rent at the moment with my girlfriend, but anyhow, from there, sorry, I'm just nervous.
You're doing great. You're doing great. What's your question on what to do?
Really, it's more so just I have so much money saving up right now. I'm kind of just wondering if there's a better way instead of just having it all sitting in my checking and savings account. If I should start investing. I mean, I have a Roth and everything there, but more or less, if I should start investing some of that money, if it would grow better there, and then pull it out later when I'm ready to.
Yeah.
What's your time horizon? How far away is this house purchase?
Maybe 5 years.
Why 5 years? You make 100K with no debt.
I mean, just kind of in a comfortable place right now. Truthfully, I mean, just.
But you just told me your stated goal was, I want to buy a house.
Well, that's not my main goal, I guess. I mean, I think my main goal is just to become a millionaire. But
well, you'll get there naturally, and a home purchase can be a part of that. I'm just wondering why 5 years and not 2 or 3 years.
Well, 3 to 5.
How much money do you have right now?
So I've got about 35 in the bank.
And that's outside of your emergency fund, not connected.
No, that's including my emergency.
So how much money can you save up per year adding to that account? 30, 40K, 50K?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's set a goal to say, hey, the house that I'm looking at, a reasonable house for a guy at 21 years old, I'm going to get a condo, a townhome, a 2-3 bedroom home in Columbia, Missouri. That's, I don't know, what are they running over there? 250, 300? I don't know the price points.
Yeah, anywhere between there, three up.
Okay. Now, you could do this with cash, and I think if you wanted to wait 5 years, you could do that. There's not a need to do that because you could go ahead and do this with a great, strong down payment of, 50 to 100 grand in the next year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then that house will appreciate, and you'll have a very reasonable mortgage payment that's no more than a quarter of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. And that puts you in a really strong financial position to pay it off early and become a millionaire which you told me you wanted to be earlier.
Yes, sir. That's been the goal. That's what's got me here today.
You're on the path, man. You keep at it, but this 5-year goal, I think you can do better.
Man, there's no need
You're a sharp young man.
No need to shout at him, George.
I mean, with that though, George, what should I just keep putting my money into the checking and savings then?
I would put it in a high-yield savings account online. You'll get about 1.5% right now, and that's just fine. Because I think it's not going to be 5 years, in which case I'd tell you to invest it. But this looks more like a 1 or 2 year deal to me, Ken.
Yeah, wow. Boy, if you keep pushing him, probably will be.
My
goodness,
listen,
man.
I'm ready to run through
so
a wall,
much
Ken.
Pressure
Let's
on
do
this young man to buy something,
He's
George.
just crushing it. I'm proud of him.
No, that was wonderful, George. Folks,
you.
This is why we call him the George Campbell. This is the Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell joins me this hour. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. We're helping you win financially. We'll help you win professionally, help you win relationally. George and I teaming up today on money and work calls. Your greatest wealth building tool is your
income.
Thank you, George, for paying attention.
That's why we're a dream team, Ken.
That's right. So we're talking about work and money. So if you want to upgrade the gig, get out of a toxic dead-end situation, I'll help you with that today. And George is here, of course, to answer your money questions. Let's go to Maggie, who joins us in Chicago, Illinois. Maggie, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for taking my call.
You bet.
I'm really glad it's you instead of Dave today because I have a credit card question.
Hold on a second. Hold on a sec. I've never heard a caller say that before. This is fantastic.
Opposite, though.
I want to revel in this for just one moment. Okay, that's enough.
Dave, are you listening?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So here's my question. I know credit cards are bad. I totally get the philosophy behind it. I 100% get that. But all of our main fixed bills come out the first half of the month. So when we get paid twice a month, if we pay everything the way we're supposed to, we really don't have money left for our day-to-day stuff, our groceries, the kids' stuff that pops up, all that, until we would get paid the second half of the month. So what ends up happening is we just kind of put everything on the credit card, do our fixed bills out of the first paycheck, and then credit card and, a couple other things out of the second paycheck. So it works, but I know that I could be saving more money if I wasn't pulling out the plastic, if I had cash for everything. I just can't come up with enough cash to make that work. Does that make sense?
It does, but this is just a budgeting issue.
Yeah.
And you need a little buffer in the checking account, and then we need to start budgeting for those bills. We know when they're coming in. And you can actually call a lot of these companies and set a certain date of the month when you want to pay those bills.
I also wonder, Maggie, before you respond to George on that, is this also an income issue?
No, I mean, we're fine. We're debt-free. We're working on paying off the house early. I just think it's kind of set up in a way. And I've always done I do the bills, so I've always just kind of done the credit card and then just pay that off instead of, and I do take cash out. I should say that too. The first of the month when we get paid, that's going to be the mortgage and, the insurance that we put aside and those kind of things. And then I do take out I take out cash for groceries. I take out cash for, some cash, but I feel like there's always something that I'm putting on the credit card anyway, whether it's, my kids are in sports. So it's like, oh, well, we just lost my football gloves at practice. Okay, well, we got to run out to Dick's and get more batting or, football gloves or, there's always something that I end up.
So it sounds like there's things outside of the budget that catch you off guard.
It is.
It's not bills.
It is.
Because you said there's certain bills.
And see, what I do is I have a bunch of sinking funds. So then I will just transfer, we have a kid's account. So, we put the money in the kid's account. And then if I have to buy those gloves, then I'll transfer money over. But I just feel like as well as I think we're doing with money, I feel like I still have that problem where if I didn't have the credit card as kind of a catch-all, that we would be, stuck in certain times of the month.
Well, it sounds like this credit card has become a crutch and a safety blanket.
Yeah.
So I think if we cut that bad boy up and we have a little bit of buffer in our checking account and we start to get this budget dialed in, we figure out when the bills are coming in, and we use our previous income to pay for future expenses, that would solve all of these problems, right?
Yeah, so how does that work? Because it's, we kind of do the zero. My husband always wants to put a little extra in the checking account for that reason, but then I feel like if there's extra in there, then we're going to go through it when we should be at a zero-based
Well,
budget.
you need some check. Zero-based doesn't mean you have $0 in your checking account. It means that you've assigned every dollar a job as far as your income goes. So you definitely need to have a buffer in your checking account. Maybe that's $500. Maybe it's a $1,000 buffer in there. But again, that's on you of self-discipline to go, we're not going to touch it. $1,000 is basically zero. That's our starting point, and I think that will help you alleviate some of these credit card habits to go spending. And make sure Junior doesn't lose his glove.
Well, you can't do that, George.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
13-year-old boy, I'm over it.
Thank you.
She's done with it.
You guys want him for the next 5 years?
I feel your pain, Maggie.
It's on him to pay for that.
Yeah, well, there you go, George.
Totally.
Like, she can't control
he's
that.
got 2 jobs. He's got a much better life.
Lose one glove, shame on me. Lose 2, shame on you.
Yeah, well, Maggie, George has
Right.
no kids, okay? He doesn't understand the pain that you and I are dealing with every
I understand
day.
personal responsibility, Ken.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you? We'll see how you understand that when your
just
kid
wait,
loses
buddy.
everything.
Anyways, Maggie, I think this is part budgeting issue, and it's part a scheduling issue, figuring out when the bills are coming in. So if you know those bills are catching you off guard, let's schedule them and say, hey, electric company, I want to pay on the 15th instead of the 4th.
Yeah.
And you can set all
and
those
that's the other
dates.
thing. My husband we went from a 1st and 15th to his company switched to every other week, which has totally been throwing a wrench in the works because to try and, we have our money that goes out, into savings at a certain time every month. And that's become an issue because if he gets paid one day later, it's like, oh, now I got to go back and change
Well, you guys are
everything.
debt free, so why not have 1 month full of expenses ready to go in the checking account? That way you're not stressing about if you're going to have enough. And so that can be a budgeting strategy that helps a lot of folks to be a whole month ahead so you're not wondering if you're going to have enough. But again, the better strategy is to do a rock solid budget. Use your previous income from that check is going to pay the future expenses.
Yeah. And I don't want the audience to miss what George said because it's really true. It's a simple little hack. Most companies will work with you if you just call them up and go, hey, I'm going to put this on auto pay. They love that. So you've already got them at that point. So here's my debit card. Let's auto pay. But instead of hitting me on the 4th of the month or the 3rd, I'd like you to hit me on the 20th or this 18th if I get paid. They'll work with you on that. Stacy and I have had to do that multiple times because the way we get paid here as well. It's just kind of like, hey, and it's fine. They'll work with you. And that way you get things a little bit more uniformed and laid out that way. So that's a great hack.
And a lot of them let you do it on your own online. So look into that. If not, give them a call, email them, whatever you got to do.
You strike me as a guy who has everything auto pay.
100%.
Like you get a text all the time going, Mr. Camel, you've just paid your electric bill.
Yes. Now, it's twofold. I put it on auto pay, but I don't just let it go and not know what my bills are. So I get the email.
Yeah, of course.
I put everything on paperless because you know me, I'm a millennial. I don't want it paper. What do I do with this paper?
I know. You really
Now
have
I
a bad
gotta litter
attitude
the
towards
earth.
paper. Yeah.
Not here. Even the papers on the desk stresses me out. So I get the email so I know what the bill is so that I don't
hear
get
that, George?
Oh, I can't stand it,
That's
Ken.
the best of the paper.
All of America wants you to stop doing that.
I don't know. I think the people in the lobby are laughing. They like the sound of the paper crinkling. It's a win.
We got to mention putting things on autopilot or on auto pay doesn't mean we're not paying attention.
I think that's right. Good point.
So we have to know, hey,
what's your system?
The bill was twice as much this month. You don't want that to sneak up
So
on
do you get an email every time? That's what I was saying. Do you get an email or text? That's what I was assuming you get.
Exactly. So the electric bill, I get the email at the end of the month saying, hey, here's what the bill's going to be. And I go, cool, that sounds about right. And it's on auto pay. So I don't have to think about it. I don't have to get, one of those late collection bills in the mail. Not dealing with that. So I'm a big fan of auto pay, but you got to pay attention still.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think when you hear that phone call like that, sometimes people just feel like they have to play by everybody else's rules. And, you don't have to because companies want to get paid.
Your system is broken. And I talked with our friend Craig Rochelle about this on the Entre Leadership podcast recently. It's time for a new system.
Yeah.
And that means replacing the old broken system and the old bad habits and replacing it with good, healthy habits. And that might mean having a buffer in the checking account. It may mean scheduling your bills to hit on a certain day.
Right.
And it's those simple little things that really give you confidence in the plan and go, oh, I can do this thing. I can cut up the cards. I don't need them. They were a crutch. They were a safety blanket. Yeah. So if that's you, America,
I agree.
It's time for a new system.
Well, and the theme here is underneath all of this is that you can control certain things. Take control of what you can control. And you can control your budget. You can control your planning. You can control the date by which you pay the bills. These are all things that you can control.
And that's really the Ramsey message at its core.
I mean, it really
you can
is.
Take control.
Yeah.
You got this.
I'm curious that when your electric bill spikes, is it because of the incessant hair drying? If you have more than one shower in a day?
That's part. It's about 4 minutes a day, Ken.
Yeah.
You know.
Little things about George that you find when you go on a retreat with him. He dries his hair with a blow dryer before going to bed.
Hey,
folks.
This volume doesn't just happen on its own, Ken.
Yeah, his room, Kelly, was next to mine. He's blow drying his hair at 11
o'clock. Let's not talk about your snoring, Ken. That's a whole other topic.
Oh, that was your hair dryer. Believe me.
Oh, boy.
This is the Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is the Ramsey Show, where we help you win in your financial life, your professional life, and your relational life. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell is my co-host. He's my colleague, Ramsey personality. The number to jump in is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. I'll warn you, George and I like to have fun. So, we might just laugh a little bit with you. We may laugh at you.
We may laugh at each other, which, by the way...
We like to laugh at each other.
Don't take it personally, Ken. People get offended.
No.
They go, wow, Ken and George are real. There's some beef there.
They say this?
There's no beef.
They don't say that.
No one's ever said
No, because there's no beef. Don't make stuff up.
There's no beef.
We like hanging out.
This is basically vegan. That's how little beef there is on the show.
See, you had to go ruin it. I was really liking the direction we were going. But no, we had dinner together, the Colemans and the Camels.
That's true. It was a great time. Stacy is incredible. And I know you're a big fan of Whitney, my wife.
Yeah, I thought you were saying Stacey's incredible. You're not so much.
You were there, too.
I was there. Stacey is incredible, and I was just there. But it was George's favorite restaurant. And I got to tell you, folks, trust George when he makes a food recommendation.
When I make any recommendation, I don't make them lightly.
I don't know about everything.
Okay.
But it was a great restaurant. Leslie joins us as we start this hour off in Yuma, Arizona. I like saying that word. I'm not going to lie to you. Leslie, how can we help?
Hello, Dave. Thank you for taking my call. We want to build a 4-unit apartment complex. And with the current market and the prices for these things have been getting up and down, and we just don't know if it's a good time for us to build right now, or if we should wait.
So why do you want to build a fourplex?
Well, we already own a small commercial building that's being rented in a little smaller town, and it has some land on the back, and we see it as an opportunity to build there. We already have the floor plans. We paid around $18,000, and we just don't know whether we should wait or.
Okay, so is this strictly an investment property, or do you plan on living there?
No, we already have a house.
Is it paid off? Do you have a mortgage on it?
Yes, we currently owe like $310,000 for the house, and then for the commercial building, which is currently being rented, we owe $97,000.
Okay.
And then we owe $25,000 for a car.
Okay. What's this fourplex going to cost?
Around $360,000.
And how much are you going to put down on that?
They're telling us that they need around 25% equity, but they can, since it's in the same property, they'll do a one loan, they'll take into account their equity.
Okay. Well, Leslie, I got to tell you, to me, this plan sounds like a nightmare because you're sitting here with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and then planning on going hundreds of thousands more in debt with nothing down, with multiple mortgage payments to pay, with car loan debt. So, I mean, if you're following the Ramsey plan, we're going to pay cash for any investment properties, and we're going to do that once our current home is paid for. And so we are not we're not in the business of nothing down real estate, and we want to do it the smart way. And if you've heard Dave Ramsey's story, you'll know that he's done with some zeros on the end and went bankrupt because he got a little fancy with his real estate deals. And that's what I'm worried for you guys, is putting yourself in a financial bind, going further into debt with this fourplex, because you're going to be close to $1 million in debt by the end of this.
Yes. Well, we both make over $200,000, and we don't know anything other than the house. The house is worth around $500,000.
So everything you just heard George said bounced right off of you because you think, well, we make over $200,000. This is a good move for us. So I just want to push. You heard what George said. We're not going to change our opinion on this. We don't want anybody to go into debt. But I just want to try to make a financial case by asking you a question. What do you think you're going to make? What do you guys plan to clear on the fourplex? Let's just run the numbers. What do you think your mortgage is going to be, or what have they told you it is? And then what do you think you're going to clear on it?
Well, we think the mortgage is going to be around $2,100 plus water, repairs, insurance, and taxes. We're thinking we are going to have like around $905.
That's what you're going to clear each month, is $900.
Yes.
So we're going to go
hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to make
$10,000
to clear $900 a month.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
You're going to pay more than that in interest alone on this deal, which is going to be higher because it's an investment commercial loan. So I just don't feel good about this.
No, I know we don't. I mean, I'm Leslie. I'm putting you on the spot on purpose. Does that make sense to you when you look at the risk versus reward? It's a simple risk-reward question. To risk all of that debt to clear $900 a month, does that seem like a good risk-reward scenario for you?
Well, the way I saw it is that the apartments, they were going to get paid with the rent, so that would be in addition to having those apartments being paid on their own.
There's no such thing as a free lunch, Leslie, and one thing goes wrong, the roof, the HVAC, a renter doesn't pay, and you got 4 renters now. There's a lot more to worry about. There's 4 times as many complaints and issues and repairs and maintenance, and this just scares me, having $1 million in debt. Now, you can do whatever you want, and you guys might just be fine, but, man, following the Ramsey plan, you got to be out of consumer debt. We're going to get an emergency fund. We're going to pay off the current house, our primary residence. We're going to be investing for the future. And I think right now, truthfully, you're starry-eyed looking at the just napkin math of, well, what if we built a fourplex and what would it do for us financially? You guys are doing great financially. Let's utilize this income to pay off our debt. Then how much faster can we save up and pay cash for investment properties and do it the right way with very little risk? That's what I want for you guys.
Yeah, George, what's the pull? I mean, she's a smart lady, but there's always a pull on this. You know, it's like...
Well, in the real estate investment world, Ken, and you've seen this time and time again, there can be a little bit of that greedy. Like, you just look at the numbers and go, oh my gosh, we could be making so much money. And it looks great on paper until reality hits, and they call on the show and says, hey, my renter hasn't paid in 6 months. And they trash the place, and the HVAC's out. We owe on our current mortgage. We have a car loan. We have $97,000 on the other property, and you feel the weight and the stress.
Yeah.
And we're all about financial peace around here. We're trying to simplify our life, especially financially. And when you have debt hanging all around you, and you get starry-eyed at a real estate investment, that's where things can go south. And we've seen it time and time again here on the show, and I don't want that for Leslie's future.
Yeah. And we don't want it for anybody. Folks, it's just very simple. All that risk, boy, I'll tell you.
It's not the sexy advice to say pay cash for investment property.
It really isn't.
No one wants to hear that.
Not when you got a bunch of loudmouths posing in front of private jets on Instagram.
And the bank says you can do it with nothing down.
Over-leverage. And, yeah, it's just a trap. It's so risky, and it's just so destructive if it doesn't work. All right, folks, we are continuing on here in just a few moments. Quick break, right back.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell, my colleague, joins me this hour. We are so excited that you are here. We're also excited to be back on the road. With the rising cost of everything these days, a lot of folks are worried about having enough money in their bank accounts just to get through the month. The good news is no matter where you are with your money today, no matter the state of the economy, you can get on a path to building wealth. At our Building Wealth Live events, you'll learn a simple, common sense group of principles to build real, lasting wealth. The tour is really fun. We had a spring leg, and now we are out this fall on a leg going out west, if you will. Phoenix, we start, and September 12th is a brand new date. Our September 13th date in Phoenix is already sold out, so we added another day. Sacramento, November 1st, sold out. Minneapolis, November 10th. In San Antonio, November 15th. You can get your ticket starting at $25, or you can get a 4-pack starting at $60. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. That's RamseySolutions.com/events to reserve your seats now. John Deloney and I do a little pre-show thing. We talk about love and work, right? Work and relationships, and then he and I join the panel. The illustrious panel, it's being called.
Yes.
With Dave Ramsey, who teaches for an hour, and then Rachel Cruz, our dear friend, kind of leads the panel with Dave, you, me, and John.
It's a good time. You get what, 5 of us up there? It's a party.
It is.
And a great talk from Dave Ramsey as well on building wealth and get rich quick and all the things he's seen with his perspective over 30 years of doing this stuff. It's eye-opening. It's encouraging. You're going to leave going, I can be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I can do this stuff regardless of what's happening in the economy or the White House.
Yeah. So get your ticket, bring some popcorn, and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Manuel is joining us. Is that right? Am I reading the screen properly, George?
We're traveling to Tokyo.
I love this. This is an international show. Tokyo, Japan is where he joins us. How can we help?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's going on?
Mainly, as you might have guessed from my location, I studied Japanese in college, and that took my career out to the Far East. And currently I work for a Japanese firm, and it's a great company. I have no problem working with them. However, as I look to the future, you never know what's going to happen with this company. And I'm in the business world, but the thought of changing jobs is really scary to me because I don't have a degree in business. I have a degree or a STEM field degree. I have a degree in the Japanese language. I don't know, if experience is more important here. I need another degree to get my foot in the door if I ever want to change jobs. But I'd like some advice.
Sure. Are you thinking about changing jobs sometime in the near future, or are you just thinking way ahead and going, what if I get tired of what I'm doing now and I've got this specialty area? And I'm just wondering what's driving this call.
Right. So the company is actually planning to send me back to the States in 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. But it's as you say, it's more of a long-term thing. I don't have any plans to leave this company. But
what do you do for them now?
So they're a contract manufacturer, and I'm in the sales department.
Okay.
So I'm more of an account manager. Yeah.
Okay, so you're an account manager, and I'm assuming you're leveraging your degree and your ability to speak Japanese fluently, or no?
Yes. That's the main reason they hired me, is because the production is all conducted in Japanese. So to speak with their American clients, they needed somebody like me.
Okay, and when you set out to get this major and this focus, what was your early vision? Why did you choose this? Because this is a very specific choice. I'm just curious what was driving that.
Well, I was good at it, and I got straight A's in all my Japanese classes, and I thought, if I'm good at it, I might as well keep going down this road. And here I am today. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think what's happening, and this is a good thing, what's happening is you're now realizing talent's not enough, aren't you? You're kind of like, I'm good at it, but there's something else out there. I know there's something else out there. You may have some specific ideas. You may not. But I teach on the Ken Coleman Show and here on the Ramsey Show the idea of how do I find purpose in my work? How do I answer the question, what should I do with my life when it comes to work? And the combination is, Manuel, I use what I do best, talent, to do work that I enjoy, that's passion, to produce results that matter to me, mission. And I think what you're starting to realize is you've got the talent linguistically, right? And certainly you've been able to master the Japanese language, and it's gotten you a really good job. But now you go, okay, that's just a skill set. What do I enjoy to do? And I think you're beginning to see that, and you're starting to go, uh-oh, how would I pivot? Am I right?
Well, I do enjoy my job. It's more or less security in the future, right?
No, I understand. But my point is what do you want to do? I mean, there's got to be something up the ladder. You have much bigger vision than just being an account manager in sales. True? Well, I stumped you on that one. Okay, well, that's fine. But that's part of how I answered this question. For you to come up with ideas on what you want to do long term, you've got to get to the other two parts of that equation I gave you, talent plus passion plus mission. You got to start to identify, what do I really enjoy doing? Who are the people I enjoy helping? How do I like to help them? And so this is a beginning of a process for you, and I'm going to give you a couple tools here. I'm going to give you my Get Clear Career Assessment. I want you to take it. It's about a 20-minute assessment. It's going to give you a detailed report on talent, passion, and mission, and fill out a purpose statement for you to where you go, okay, now this becomes a filter for what I would do long term, okay? And I'll give you my book, From Paycheck to Purpose, which will unveil the 7 stages you'll take long term. But to give you the advice today for you to begin to think about this, you've got to be able to say, all right, what could I do before you come up with what should I do? Okay, and I just think you're early in your career, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but are you tracking with what I'm telling you?
Yeah, I have more of a long-term vision where I want to see myself in 10, 20 years.
That's it. That's the exploration, and it's fun. It doesn't need to be intimidating, George.
Yeah,
it's beginning to visualize, what could I do? What would I enjoy doing? Where do I want to do it?
And even if you want to continue to be an account manager, do you not think you could go to another company and get an account manager job with the degree that you have? With your experience?
So I've been looking at the different job postings, and most of them have as a requirement that you have a 4-year degree in business or a related field. So that's kind of
I truly think they're going to see past that when they go, wow, this guy has some incredible experience. Yeah. Clearly he knows what he's doing. He's great at this job. And they're going to overlook that piece of the requirement.
You work for an international or multinational company.
Yes.
They don't care if you have a business degree. I'm just telling you. Not with the amount of experience 3 to 5 years from now. If you're going to stay with this company another 2-3 years, that's all the experience you need. Companies all around the world, certainly in the United States, will be happy to hire you. You're going to have tremendous experience. You do not need to go get another degree.
Are you good at your job? Are you good at your job?
I like to think so.
Yeah.
Great. Then you're going to be able to find another one doing just that. And can I ask you, it's 4:30 in the morning in Tokyo. Did you wake up just to call us?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
There it is, Ken.
Well, I appreciate
respect that.
And I really want to pay it off. Listen, the degree question is always going to come down to this. I've got to know where I want to go, okay, professionally, and then I have to ask, is a degree the only way I can get there? And then the second question is a degree the best way to get me where I want to go? But right now, young man, you just don't know where you want to go, and that's okay. There's no problem with that. But you don't have a mountaintop that you've got in your mind. So the degree is an automatic no. There's no sense in getting a degree when we don't know where we want to go. Right now, you're doing really great. You're in a good company. You're building your platform. How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
Yeah, you're 28, man. The 20s are all about exploration and experimentation professionally and beginning to see. And your 30s is when you begin to build. Your 40s and 50s is when you harvest. So you're in good shape, young man. Hang on the line. I do want you to take the Get Clear Career Assessment. It'll really help you with clarity and some confidence moving forward. We'll also give you the companion to that, From Paycheck to Purpose, the book that gives you the 7-stage process to actually get your dream job. Appreciate the call. Wow, it's really early, George.
That's amazing.
Really early.
It's that kind of effort that's got him to where he is today, Ken.
Yeah, this is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Camel joins me this hour. We're here to help you win in your money, your work, your profession, and in your relationships. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Knoxville, Tennessee. Harrison joins us there. How can we help, sir?
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So I just got a new job here in Tennessee with TVA.
All right.
So me and my wife are renting right now because we're just kind of waiting. We did purchase land, but we couldn't really afford just the building prices. Like, it was just out of our budget right now. So we're just renting. So my question is, should I rent or sell the home that I had in South Carolina that we moved from?
What are you doing with it now?
Right now it's vacant.
Oh, that's not fun. Why do you want to rent it?
So, because it's in a fantastic area. That area is really blowing up. And
how much do you owe on that house?
I owe $168,000, and the interest rate is 2.8%.
Ooh, nice. What's it worth?
One realtor quoted that we could get anywhere conservatively $250,000, and then possibly up to $270,000.
Now, you guys said that you have this land, you're not doing anything with it as well on top of that.
That's correct.
Do you owe money on that?
Cash for that.
You paid cash. Well,
I'm completely debt free, except for the house.
Except for this house in South Carolina.
That's correct.
Okay.
I know what Dave would say, George.
Well, my goal is for you to get a house. And so that means I'm selling this one because that's going to expedite the process to get a down payment.
Yeah.
And if it's a hot area, that means it's going to sell for a pretty penny.
Dave, I'm telling you right now, Dave, I can hear him in my head right now going, don't be a long-distance landlord. Don't be a long-distance landlord. You know, it's just a pain in the you-know-what, you know? And George is right. That fast forwards a lot of stuff for you.
Correct. My in-laws have experience with a company that handles that, And so I did talk to them. They had great reviews, and they estimated I'd get $1,400 to $1,500 a month if I did rent.
But what do you owe on it every month?
$900.
Yeah. So we're doing this for a few grand a year.
It's not much money.
That's if everything goes perfectly. So I'm selling this thing. I'm going to use that money as my future down payment on top of saving up. What's your new income?
It's around $80,000 to $90,000 a year.
So making $80,000 to $90,000 a year debt free, you should be able to sock away a good chunk of money on top of the sale proceeds from this house, and you can get in a house in the next year or two in your area.
Yes, that sounds probably about right.
That would be my plan, especially as homes continue to appreciate over the next 5-10 years, especially in your area. That would be my plan.
In ballpark, George, what do you think he puts down on the next house, knowing what he could get on this house?
Well, if you're saying you're going to sell it for $250 and you owe $168, that's going to put you at about $84,000 or so, and then you probably sock away out of that $90,000 you're making. You could probably save another $30,000 in the next 12 months, which gives you 6 figures to put down on your next property for your primary residence.
Right.
That puts you in a good financial spot.
Think about that and lowering your expenses. I think your in-laws are telling you, and you respect them, and I understand why, but I think your in-laws are trying to talk you in to renting this house. But George said it beautifully, talking about a couple $1,000s a month after you pay your mortgage.
A year.
Yeah, a year. Excuse me, a year. Thank you. That's just, I don't care if you got a company managing it for you or not. It's still a pain in the butt for a couple grand a year. I just think you have to really look at that. What's the benefit for that versus the $80,000 getting you started on a fantastic down payment?
And think about how long it would take you to save up $80,000 out of your own income.
Yes, a very good point.
So I like this. I like this plan. You can do your plan, but man, this one sounds a lot more peaceful to me.
I'd sell it. I would sell it.
Ken and I, we're big fans. So
I like to sell stuff.
There's a big, the feeling is, why would you ever get rid of a rental? You can make so much money. Let's look at the numbers. There's not a lot of money to be made on this thing.
I agree.
The hassle of it. So
yeah, I agree.
That's just one man's opinion.
There it is. Mary Lou is up in St. Louis, Missouri. Mary Lou, how can we help?
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
My husband and I are both retired, and we recently sold a piece of rental property for $150,000, and we're just wondering which is the best way to invest it.
Awesome. So you have $150,000 sitting in the bank right now?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's in money market.
Nice. Okay. Give us a little snapshot of your financial picture. What do you guys have in retirement? Do you have any debt? Do you have an emergency fund? And what's your income?
We don't have any. We don't have any debt. We have emergency fund of probably $60,000, and our income is probably $55,000 a year.
Okay, and what's in retirement?
We've got about $100,000 probably, or no, it's got more than that. I'm sorry. We have investments with Edward Jones, probably $400,000.
Okay. And do you owe on your primary residence?
No, we don't. We're not in any debt at all. We have been blessed.
That's great news. And so really, you don't have any current plans that you need to make with this $150,000. No renovations, no car upgrades, nothing big that you're trying to do.
No, nothing. We don't. We just don't know what to do with it. It's just laying there. We would like to invest it in some way.
Sure. Well, if you're going to use it in the near future, let's say 3 to 5 years, you could park it in an S&P 500 index fund if you're wanting to purchase property in the future. Are you wanting to get back into some real estate investing?
No, actually, we're 82. We're both 82 years old, and we've been there, done that, and we just want to keep what we have.
Well, that's great news. In that case, if you're just saying, hey, we want this to create income for us long term, use the power of compound growth, you can invest it in some great growth stock mutual funds. And if you need help choosing the right ones, you can connect with one of our SmartVestor pros at RamseySolutions.com, and they're going to help you make the best use of that $150,000. Because even at, let's say 10% growth, well, that's $15,000 a year that's compounding for you versus it sitting in that money market making nothing.
Right.
So I like that plan a whole lot. But you guys have done so well. I'm proud of you guys.
Well, we have been blessed. We have a large family. When we all get together, there's 30 of us. So
wow. Well, you might need to carve out some of that money for the catering.
You might need to buy a few Astro vans to transport everyone.
That's right. Well, we have been involved in such as that as well.
I'll bet. Well, Mary Lou, that is so great. Definitely, if you've not connected with one of our SmartVestor pros, RamseySolutions.com, click on the SmartVestor Pro tab and interview a few folks in your area.
But don't just let this money sit there.
Yeah, they'll help you maximize this. And what an awesome blessing this is. So congratulations.
I like Mary Lou, Ken. Just so peaceful.
Too. I want to hang out with her.
After the last caller wondering, well, I don't want to sell the rental. And now you hear Mary Lou going, we sold the rental. Feels great.
Yeah,
we got a pile of cash.
She's 82. She said, we've been there, done that. She's like, that's for the whippersnappers.
That's right.
We're chilling.
But there's a great teaching moment there because Mary Lou has options.
Oh, boy, does
When
she.
you call in and you go, we got a big pile of cash.
She's got 150,000 options.
We have no debt, no mortgage. What do we do?
Yeah.
That's an exciting problem to have versus being backed into a corner going, we've got a huge pile of debt. We've got all these properties, all these mortgages. What do we do?
Yeah.
It's a very different tone.
Yeah,
and
really
I'm
is.
proud of her.
Yeah, that is awesome stuff.
I love to hear it.
That is great. 82.
It's impressive.
Got the money.
I hope you make it that long, Ken. I think you will.
You think so?
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I think people who golf just tend to live longer. And you've been out there on the course this morning.
Well, somebody's got to do it. I find it to be tremendous therapy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
What do you do, George? What's your hobbies?
Not golf. Golf is very stressful
to me. What do you do?
I play guitar. I like to watch some stand-up comedy.
That's what you
listen to some
do?
good music. Yeah.
So,
play with my dogs.
Okay.
Dogs are therapy to me, Ken.
You seem very lonely. Gosh.
That's for the Dr. John Deloney show. I'll be calling in soon.
Okay. Well, we can hang out after the show today.
I appreciate that.
I'll sit there and watch you play your guitar.
Thank you. I need an audience.
That feels pathetic. All right, don't go anywhere. More of your calls coming up next. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show, where we help you win with your money, your work, and your relationships. We've been talking your ears off about how real estate market is not going to crash, and how though we are in a mini recession, it's not the end of the world. Well, here's some more good news. Mortgage rates dropped more this past week than they have in any week since 2020. So, George, we're seeing that. We're seeing the roller coaster of the mortgage rates, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're only down by about 0.3%, but you can celebrate this win by refinancing or buying the house you've been wanting. Remember that making decisions based on facts, not fear, pays off in a changing market. So if you're taking this dip in mortgage rates as your chance to buy a home like other people are, make sure you're ready. Make sure you have an experienced real estate agent by your side to walk you through it. If you want to talk to one that's Ramsey trusted, go to RamseySolutions.com/agent. Those pros from our endorsed local providers program are top of the line and know how to help you through the market changes. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com/agent, RamseySolutions.com/agent. Georgia, you and Whitney.
Yes, just went through this process.
Recently took advantage, got yourself a good deal.
And let me tell you, our agent was fantastic and gave us some great gifts.
Oh, is that right?
I got a giant Yeti cooler and a Roomba.
What's a Roomba?
One of those little robot vacuums.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Do you use it?
Or about to. Game on.
It just roams around the house.
Gets rid of all that dog hair while I'm not even home.
Okay.
That's a blessing.
And doesn't bump into the furniture?
No, it's smart. Ken, you don't have one? Don't change your family tree.
George, I just asked you live on the air what a Roomba is. Of course I don't have one.
I thought you were playing coy.
No. I'm genuinely interested. Right. You're my friend who has the cool stuff.
That's true.
You teach me stuff all the time. You're like, oh,
I appreciate that.
I learned stuff from you.
Well, the Gen X, they missed out on all the hot tech. And us millennials, we took full advantage.
There it is.
I'll get you there. I'm here for you,
Yeah,
Ken.
but you got the Yeti cooler, too.
It's my first one. Because I'm never going to spend $400 on a cooler.
Well, you could sleep in that thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess in an ice bath. I don't know what I'm doing in there.
Yeah, cold plunge.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I like that. Trevor's up in Chicago, Illinois. Trevor, how can we help?
Hey, how's it going, guys? You guys are awesome. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you very much.
We love you, Trevor.
We're going to send you a $5 bill for that public comment. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'm not going to send you anything.
He's going to be reaching out to you, Ken,
I
saying,
know.
Venmo me $5.
No, I was joking. I don't mean that. What's your question, Trevor?
All right. I really need your help. I'm on step 6, kind of.
Oh, now hold on a second.
Hold on.
How are you kind of on baby step 6? What does that mean?
Okay. I wasn't gonna get into this, but I'll tell you. So we got to step 2, skipped over steps 3, 4, and 5, and paid off our house.
I'm so confused.
Then we went.
I'm not. I'm actually tracking with it. So you have no emergency fund. You've not been saving 15%. That's baby step 4. You didn't fund anything for college. You just went to the house.
Yeah, we did step 1, step 2. We did step 6.
Yeah.
Then we did step 3.
Oh.
Now we're past step 4 and we're on step 5.
That's one way to do it.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
And here's the deal. So I'm at basically savings for college, and then I'm on step 7. And
so you have no mortgage payment.
Lost 0 mortgage payment.
And now we're just funding college and building wealth and being generous.
Yeah.
So technically, you're baby step 7.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, you are the most confused, debt-free person I've ever met. And that's a compliment. It's fantastic. The way you just laid that out. I think you're exhausted. I think you're mentally exhausted.
My brain hurt just walking through that scenario.
That's why I'm calling, because I'm just totally not a gazelle anymore.
Well, you don't have to be. Oh, I feel like I blew your mind there. I think
Trevor's feelings.
I think the smoke is coming. No. You don't have to be gazelle intense anymore. Am I right, George?
Yeah, we move from intense to intentional once we are in baby step 4 and beyond.
I got a slow clap.
And Trevor,
there.
you've been very intentional, right?
Yeah.
So what are you beating yourself up for? Why don't you feel like you're intense enough?
I guess because of the ambiguity of what college is going to be for my kids by the time they get to that age. They're
What's your
6,
plan?
9, and 11.
What's your plan? How much you planning to save?
We don't have a plan right now.
How many kids do you have?
3.
How old are they?
6, 9, and 11.
Okay, when you say you don't have a plan, are you putting anything aside every month? You said you were. What are you putting away?
Yeah, we've got savings accounts for each of the kids.
Are they ESAs or 529s?
They're just regular savings accounts. I guess our focus is to since we're not at the 15%, we're doing 10% on step 4.
Why?
So
you don't have any payments. Do you not have enough money to invest 15%?
Well, our kids are in private school, and it's kind of we're tight right now.
I got you. I get it.
So,
but I guess my point is it's like it blew your mind when I told you didn't have to be gazelle intense. Technically, you really don't right now.
But you do have to be investing 15%.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah.
And if you put something away for college, that's bonus. So do not sacrifice your own retirement to send Junior off to college.
Right.
I agree with that.
Because they're going to be supporting mom and dad once they're out of college. And we don't want that.
Is there a question in there? Because you ran us through a really fun exercise of how you did the baby steps. It was like a twister board. Is how you went about doing it. Is there a question that we haven't answered?
I guess my biggest question is, am I going to have enough for retirement? And that's kind of the thing that.
How old are you?
I lose 42.
How much do you have in retirement now?
$200,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to be fine if you're
going to work another 15, 20 years?
23 years.
Yes.
You've got that planned out. You're not that lost.
That's the quickest answer you've had all this entire
And
call.
what's your house worth?
$250,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you've got about a $500,000 net worth. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the next 5 years to 10 years, you'll be a baby steps millionaire. And 10 years after that, you're going to have multi-million dollars in your accounts and with your home appreciation.
You're going to have enough.
Okay.
You're going to be fine.
But you do need to get that number up to 15%.
Yeah.
And then whatever's left over. And if private school is holding you guys back from being able to retire with dignity, we need to relook at private school and go, is this the right option for us right now?
Right.
Because how much is private school costing you guys?
$1,500 a month.
Ouch. I don't know how you paid off a mortgage and now you're tight after not having that payment anymore. What's your household income?
$100,000 a year.
Okay. I want you guys to look at that budget and do an audit and go, where are we overpaying? Do we need to check up on our insurance? Do we need to really ratchet down on eating out? Do we need to cut some subscriptions? And do we need to get more income in the door? I think if you do all of those things, you need some margin in your life, especially to be at baby step 7. That's what this whole plan is about, financial peace. And you don't have it right now.
Right.
And that's where I'm wondering where all these money leaks are coming from.
Yeah. Well, the house was paid off from a savings account. It wasn't really the debt snowball. It was in savings already. We just chose to pull it out of savings and kill the house debt.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So that's probably why part of that was confusing. But
I'm with George. I don't know why you have the fear. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's just a good old-fashioned, get in the old sandbox of the budget and look at everything. Because with the money you're making, even with the $1,500 a month going towards
it's
private
$18,000.
school,
You make $100. I don't know where the rest is going when you don't have payments.
You've got plenty to be able to invest 15%. It shouldn't be that tight. So you've done this before. You were unorthodox about it, but you still have shown some discipline. So I think it calls for discipline and tightening where you need to tighten. I think George is absolutely right. Appreciate the call, but you're going to be fine.
You're
Trevor.
doing better than you think you are.
Yeah. Celebrate. You sound like Eeyore. I want you acting like Tigger right now. That's what I want. You're in great shape, man. All right, that's another hour in the books. George Campbell.
We did it.
To the team behind the glass that makes it all happen. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. And we love you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you win financially, professionally, and relationally. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell is my colleague, and he joins me this hour as we answer your questions. It's a free call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. George will answer your money questions. I'll chime in. And I'm here to answer any questions around your world at work. You feel stuck, burned out, dealing with toxicity, want to pivot, want to start a side hustle, you want to get promoted to make more money, I'm your big shovel guy. All right, that's what I do over on the Ken Coleman Show, helping people win in their work. And so I want to bring some of that to the show today. George and I genuinely like hanging out together. We sit about 6 feet away from each other.
If that. I usually butt up a little closer.
Yeah. Well, you're just trying
to bother
to
you.
Try to get a little bit of wisdom, little wisdom. But anyway, we're having fun today, and we want to have fun while helping you. So let's go. Jared is up in Orlando, Florida. Jared, you're on. Excuse me. How can I help? Almost said. You see what I did there? Almost.
Wow.
I stopped it. It's been
Old
a long
habits
time.
die hard.
Yeah, you do it every day. How can we help, Jared?
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
So I have a car problem. So I was in the military several years ago. I went through about a 2-year period where I went through 5 cars and racked up a ton of negative equity.
Wow, what happened?
I was 21 years old and really didn't know what I was doing. I bought a car that was about 3 times what my salary was with a co-signer at one point, and it just kind of spiraled out of control.
How old are you now?
Now I'm not in that situation, but I'm moving to New York, so I no longer need a car. Up till a couple months ago, I was about $25,000 underwater on my car loan. Now I'm about $15,000. It's the only debt I have, but I'm not really sure what to do since I have to move in a month and I can't bring the car with me. The car was worth about $30,000 as of about 2 months ago, but I Kelly Blue Booked it a few days ago, and I noticed it dropped another $3,000. So now I'm wondering, in this kind of short period of time I have to deal with this, do I either leave it at my parents' house and just keep making payments on it and throwing more money at it than just a payment to get rid of it as fast as possible? Or do I take out a loan to cover the negative equity and then just pay off the loan as fast as possible? My income right now is about $100,000 net, and that's going to be going up to about $175,000 net with salary, and then with bonus, we're probably household going to be clearing about $270,000 a year. So it's going to be a short-term issue over the next few months, but I don't have $15,000 to throw at it right now. I just have the
How much do you have?
An emergency fund, or just like how much
Just
do I save?
general cash, liquid cash.
It's just $1,000. I've been paying off student loans and everything, and that's all gone. This is now the last problem.
This is your last final debt.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the car worth, and what do you owe?
The car is worth what Kelly Blue Book says is about $27,000, and I owe about $43,000 on it.
Ouch. Okay.
And it was, like I said, it was worse than that. I threw about 10 at it over the past couple months, but it's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah. So you're about 15 or 16,000 underwater. Yeah, I mean, your best bet may be, and this is for America's sake, the only time we would ever tell you to get a loan is when you are upside down on a car, and you can go to your credit union and get a loan amount for that amount and pay it off as fast as possible. And it's nice that you don't need a car because you don't have to turn around and go buy another one.
Yeah.
So that's a strange blessing in the situation.
Do you guys think that it's worth doing that? Because my income, like I said, is going to be going up to where I think what it's looking like, how I calculated out, it would take me about 2 to 2.5 months to pay off the loan where it's at right now. But I mean, I don't think the interest rate is so much an issue. I mean, it's a really bad interest rate. It's 8%, but in 2 months,
But you're not going to keep this car, and so there's no need to go down that path. I'd rather you be $16,000 in debt than $43,000 in debt if we can do that by the end of the week, and then you knock out that debt in a month or two with your income.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, about 2 months probably to knock out a $14,000 loan.
So that would be my plan. You know how much you owe. We're going to put this upside-down car up for sale. We're going to try to get top dollar for it. I'm going to be, listing it private on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and Auto Trader. I'm going to get in touch with Carvana and Vroom and dealerships and see who will give me top dollar for it so I have the least amount of loan to take out. Then we're going to cover that upside-down amount with a loan from your credit union or wherever. Then we don't need another car, so that's a blessing you don't have to deal with. And that will get you out of this thing in another month or two instead of months down the road.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I think that was the way I was leaning, so I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jared.
That's what we call a stupid tax, Ken. And, he made his mistakes early on, and now this he's crushing it. He's cleaning up his mess.
Yeah.
Proud of him.
Yeah, I think that's the takeaway for people that are new to the show and listening and watching, hearing this story. He owned it. He's not defined by it. He's digging his way out of it.
Yeah. And a lot of people carry this shame and guilt, and they don't know what to do, and they get frozen. But the truth is, we just put all that baggage down, and we take the right next step for the future.
Yeah.
And go, all right, I made the mistake. I'll never make it again. Let's move forward and build wealth.
Yeah, and I think that's the right mindset as opposed to, I'm never going to get out of this, and, I'm just going to have to drag it around. It's fascinating. I was thinking the other day, I wanted to ask you this, and I forgot to ask you this. What is the average, do you have an idea what the average car payment Americans are driving around with? I know years ago it was about $400.
It's up closer to $600 now.
Is that right? That's the average car payment.
And the loan terms are becoming longer and longer.
Like 72 months, I see?
Yes. And even they'll go longer now. I mean, they'll go as long as you want, Ken. They'll just go, hey, you want to pay this off in 10 years?
Right.
Great.
They don't care because the depreciation is your problem. Yep. They're going to get paid.
And they're making interest for a longer period of time. So they're happy about it.
Wow.
So don't do it, guys.
Yeah, what's the going interest rate on a car loan these days?
Oh, boy, that's a great question.
I don't know.
It's not pretty, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, so I asked that question because, it's people just assume.
I'm seeing about almost 4%.
4%
for new cars.
There is still the mindset in America, George. It's not gone anywhere.
No.
That hey, you got to have a car payment.
Yeah.
$600 a month.
It's brutal. And the interest rate can go up, as far as 20% on car loans, depending on your credit and what you're coming to the table with and your down payment and all that. And so the truth is, most people doing that are buying cars way beyond their means, way beyond their income.
Oh, of course.
Because they can afford the payment. And so we say, stop asking that question. Start asking, can I afford it in full, in cash, instead of can I afford the monthly payment? Because that's how broke people talk. And we want you to be wealthy. We want you to be financially free, have peace in your life. And when you save up and you pay cash for a reasonable car, it changes everything.
Yeah, like a 2013 used Tesla.
That's right.
That's what you did.
Exactly. I got no one to impress, and yet Ken's impressed.
It's a good-looking car.
Thank you, Ken.
I'm not kidding.
I appreciate
It's fantastic.
I'll take you for a ride after the show.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I want to do the thing where you hit the button and it goes really fast.
I don't know if I have that feature.
Oh.
I don't know if it's that fancy. I'll have to look into that.
All right. I'd like to try that. All right. Don't go anywhere. George and I aren't, and we're going to be back in just moments to take more calls. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell joins me, and we are here to answer your phone calls. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Adam is on the line in Pasadena, California. Adam, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. So I'll jump right into it. I've been working for a general contractor for almost the past 11 years. And I have two job opportunities ahead of me. One is with the city of Los Angeles, which pays me more and has benefits and all that stuff. Or there's another job with the Caltech University in Pasadena, which is a couple blocks away from my house. It also pays more, but it's kind of in the middle ground. So,
what do you mean by middle ground?
Sorry, a little nervous, guys.
That's okay. You're doing you're doing great. I just didn't know when we compare the LA job, city of LA, and Caltech. You said both pay more, but then you said Caltech is more middle ground. I didn't know what you meant.
You got it. So right now, after taxes, I think I took home about $46,000. The city of Los Angeles job as a carpenter starts at $90,000 a year before taxes, with a pension and benefits. And then Caltech is $72,800 a year before taxes. Mm-hmm. They don't have a pension; they have more of like a 401k, and that after 3 years, you're in full control of your money. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of choose where they put it or how much you want to put in, and they also have benefits.
Are you doing carpentry for both?
Yes. I'd be working for the city of Los Angeles. I would be doing street services, which is far more brutal than what I do now. Now I'm more of a woodworker. I do custom cabinetry, woodworking, furniture, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. At Caltech, I would be kind of doing the same thing I'm doing now, but more in a school setting. So that'd be building dorms or lab tables.
How old are
repairs, maintenance, things like that. I'm 37, and I just had my first son, and he's 4 months old.
Awesome. Congratulations. So the reason I asked that, the reason I asked that, Adam, is what's your long-term play? What's the top of the professional mountain for you as you sit here today. You don't have to hold yourself to this answer, but what's that look like for you? Because you're a young man, so when you're 50 or 45, where do you want to be professionally?
I just want to be secure, and I know that sounds like a fear thing, but I stayed with the current contractor that I'm with under the pretense that he was going to mentor me and I was going to take over his shop when he retired. That was kind of the carrot in front of
Is that what you wanted, is to run your own shop?
It was what I originally wanted, but now...
What do you want now? And I know you want to be stable, so I'm going to push back. Everybody wants to be financially stable. I'm asking you, assume financial stability. What kind of work would you love to be doing over the next 5-10 years as you kind of finish out your professional journey? What's the top of the professional mountain for you?
I mean, it would be great to run my own company, although that's a big hurdle, and I've seen a lot of failures throughout here.
Okay, no.
I love what I do. I love doing woodwork.
Yeah, that's my point.
And
so here's the deal.
It's a craft.
Right. So you love the craft that you're doing now. And so, sure, you'd love to own your own business. Forget about the fears and the hurdles. If everything were ideal, you'd eventually like to work for yourself in the space you're in. Correct?
Sure.
Okay. All I'm trying to do is help you go, all right, because we need to know this when we make decisions like this. And the reason I walked you through that quick exercise is because on paper, the city of LA seems to make more sense. On paper, if we just look at, well, it's 90,000 versus, I'm rounding up, 73. But I don't want you looking at it that way. I want you going, okay, long term, what do I want to do? And for right now, we're not holding you to this, but for right now, it's I want to stay in the craft that I'm in. I'm a craftsman. I work with my hands. And so I want to be doing that kind of work and maybe work for myself, but I want to keep moving up. So the question becomes, will Caltech give you a better ladder? Or will working for the city of LA give you a better ladder? And I'm removing finances right now. I'm saying what would give you the best opportunity to continue to advance?
I would say the city of Los Angeles has more opportunity because it's broader, whereas Caltech is a school that is affiliated with JPL. So that's nice, but there's not as much room to grow. A lot of people love their job there, and from the research I've done, tend to stay there for a long time. So it's hard to get, say, the boss's job or a promotion if someone already is holding that position. Whereas the city of Los Angeles has several different departments. So you can bounce around. You're still a carpenter, but maybe you're working, street services, or you might be working general services. You could go to Parks and Rec. You could work at LAX.
Exactly. And because of all of that you just named, think about all the connections you're making, which could lead to some tremendous private sector opportunities. You're going to be meeting a lot of people, right?
Sure.
So I like the city of LA,
you
Joe.
brought that up. Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, the one last thing I was going to say is I live 2 blocks away from Caltech, and there would be zero commute, zero wear and tear on my car, zero gas, zero time wealth lost driving my truck to and from work every day. I mean, we're looking at a couple hours every day, to and from work with the city of Los Angeles. So I always take all those things into account. But the other thing I wanted to just lastly ask is, I've been with this guy for 11 years, and he hasn't done anything to kind of lift me up. There's no more ladder for me to climb, and that's why I'm leaving. But it's not without a heavy heart. So I just wanted to make sure you guys or maybe get your opinion that I was on the right path, I guess.
Yeah, you are. And you have no opportunity to grow. So you shouldn't feel guilty about pursuing growth. You're a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could you move closer to work, Adam, if you took the city of LA job?
To be honest, I probably could, but it varies so often that which department they might send you to, it would be kind of
You're going all over.
Yeah, I'd be going all over. And I've lived in the same rental for the last 10 years because I'm really good with the landlord because I do all the repairs myself, and he hasn't raised my rent. So
I like that.
I would love to.
It's a good trade-off.
I would love to do all the baby steps. I mean, I'm not in debt. But I don't have anything else kind of handled other than about $5,000 put away.
Well, you're about ready to get a big raise. Listen, Adam, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I don't like the commute. The commute sucks. There's no way around it. But that's LA. So,
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of the deal. Moving around isn't really an option because of the city of LA is so vast, and you might be doing projects. I would take the LA job primarily because of the raise and the connections. Because I don't think you're going to have to stay with the city of LA very long if you have your head up and you're making connections. You're talking to people on the job. That would be my goal.
Yeah, and if a year or two from now the commute's killing you and it's not what you thought it was, you can leave.
Yeah, I just think you are stacking connections big time over the next year, 2 years. So, yeah, I would take the LA city job. The Caltech job, it's gonna force your hand down the road anyway, because you're not going to have any growth. Sure. And you've been with a guy for a long time where there's no ladder, and you know how that feels. Why would you go from one ladderless place to another ladderless place? Well, that's hard to say, George.
Ladderless place.
Yeah.
But this is a good point, Ken. If you're a leader out there and you're not giving your team members opportunities for growth and talking about what that looks like, they're going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're seeing right now is people want growth. We're designed for growth. And if we're not advancing, now we're not talking about getting a raise every 10 minutes. I'm talking about, is there room for me to grow in this company long term?
That's correct.
And if you don't have that as a leader, they're going to go find another leader who cares enough to help them grow.
George, you're all over it. In fact, the data backs up your opinion. Saw an article this week, a new study out. The number one reason people left their jobs over the last 6 months, they did not feel that they had professional advancement opportunities.
And that's not always about money.
No, it's actually not money, because the third factor was income. They actually want a chance to grow and do more. We are creatures of progress, leaders. You better make sure you're answering that question for people. So they don't want a better job. They want a better life, George.
There it is.
I want to drop my pencil on that one.
Pencil drop.
Don't move. More Ramsey Show coming up. The Ramsey Show continues from our Ramsey Solutions worldwide headquarters. George Kamel is with me. I'm Ken Coleman. We're so excited that you are with us. 888-825-5225 is the phone number to jump in. We'll talk about your work situations. You want to make more money, get out of a toxic situation, figure out what that business idea is. We'll talk about your work and more money, that bigger shovel. And then George is here to answer your money questions. But first, we want you to find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more if you use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Today's question, George, comes from Alex in Chattanooga. I'm $52,000 in debt and am engaged to be married. I earn $40,000 a year working at a warehouse and am studying to become a software engineer, which could potentially earn me an entry-level position starting at $80,000. The software course I'm taking says it should take 6 months to complete. My question is, should I put extra free time hours I have into studying so I can become an engineer as fast as possible and double my income in 6 months? Or should I focus on the job I have now, put those extra hours of free time towards working overtime to save $10,000 in a year for our wedding, and then get back to baby step 2 after the wedding? This is a true combo question, George.
Wow.
What do you think there? What's your money advice here?
Well, I like the fact that 6 months from now he could be doubling his income.
I like that a lot.
Because that means an extra $40K versus an extra $10K of working overtime. But truthfully, the priority right now is we got to make sure we can cash flow this wedding, get through that completely debt-free. Then we're going to have combined income. Hopefully his spouse is going to be working so we can really tackle this debt. Because right now, making 40, trying to tackle 52, you're not going to make a ton of progress.
No, I'm with you. But I'm going to challenge him. A little both and. I'm going with what George says. Absolutely focus on the overtime, doing whatever you got to do to cash flow the wedding, obviously. But I also think, you know what? This is the time to lose a little bit of sleep. So I'm
Stay up late, finish this course.
Getting up early when I'm not overtime, I'm working to get this course done as well. I'd like to cash for the wedding and have a great job before I'm married.
Yeah, and figure out
like
the financial aspect of the wedding. What is it going to cost? How can we shave that cost down? Who's paying for it? If it's just on him and the spouse, that's a different situation versus family chipping in. So have those conversations to figure out what that number is you've got to hit by the wedding date to pay all the vendors and get married.
So I borrow a little gazelle intensity from our baby steps, and I'd put it towards studying, hustling, overtime. Look, you're getting ready to get married. So, she's planning the wedding. She wants you out of her hair anyway.
That's true. I was no help. I don't know about you.
Either. Oh. But I also told Stacy, look, babe, I'll go for the registry of I guess I just said that's what it is. You register for all these gifts.
Yeah.
She wanted me there for that, so I was like, okay.
You scan the cake stand that you'll never use.
100%. And, I did that. But other than that, there are a couple key questions she wanted my opinion on. Other than that, I stayed out of it.
You didn't choose the flowers?
No.
Oh, no. Sad.
The key there is to start your marriage off on the right foot, a little relationship advice before we get into the calls. Whatever she says she wants or she asks you, hey, what do you think of these flowers? Always start with asking another question. What do you think about them?
Oh, that's a life hack.
Because you want to know, is she meh?
You want to be on the right side of history.
Is she really excited about them? So it's always good to go, what do you think? Because now you look interested and you look engaged. What we're really doing is trying to figure out which way we're going. Because if she's meh, then you go,
Smart man.
If she's like, I really like them, you got to go, I love them.
How many years you been married?
24.
There you go.
I've not done
Proof's
it right.
in the pudding.
Yeah, well. Hey, I made that mistake recently. She bought a new chandelier for the bedroom. Wasn't thinking, George. Came in, caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared. She goes, what do you think? And I was like, it's fine. Oh, no.
Last words.
The answer needs to be, I don't like it. I love it.
You scared? You had
See
me
what
in the
I'm
first
doing there?
half.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't do that, George.
I got to come over and see the new chandelier.
Yeah, sure.
Bet it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Stacy I don't like it. I love it. There you go.
Brittany is up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Brittany, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I sold my house, and I'm now living with my boyfriend. I walked away from closing this week with about $130,000 in cash.
Whoa! How does that feel?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I have followed all of the baby steps, so now I'm completely debt-free. And my question for you guys is, what's the best way for me to invest this money? And most of it, I'd like to invest short-term to have for a down payment on a house in the future or a wedding or both.
Yeah.
So what's the time horizon here? Are we talking 2 years, 5 years?
I would think somewhere in that window of 2 to 5 years. So I don't know how strict those timelines need to be.
Well, it depends on your risk tolerance and when you might need the money. Because the fear is a year and a half from now, you go, man, I really need the money, and the market's down, and now you're selling at a loss.
And
right.
Brittany, here's the question I have. All right, George is going to help you out on this, but I got to know. I mean, if your boyfriend's on the phone with us right now, is he thinking 2 to 5 years as well? Because this money's your money. It's not
right.
It's not our money, even though you're shacking up with him. It's not his money, and I'm just wondering. I'm playing the older brother role here, George. I'm a little nervous about this.
I was going to say old man, but I like older brother.
Well, either
It's
one
very
works.
kind.
I'll receive it. Brittany, seriously though, how serious is this relationship?
Well, we're 30, and we've been dating for almost 3 years, so I would say it's pretty serious. But my dad is listening, I'm sure, and he would appreciate that comment.
Hey, Dad,
it is definitely
I
my
got
money.
your back, Dad. I'm asking the tough
Yeah.
questions today. I'm being serious here. 3 years you've been
Yeah.
together, and you think it's going to take 2 more years for this guy to put a ring on it?
I don't think it'll take 2 years for an engagement, but I'd like to be able to plan a nice wedding and everything like that.
The point I'm making
And I don't think I need $130,000 for a wedding either.
You do not.
so.
You do not. My point is, this is your money until the day you get married. You hear me? That's what I want you to know. I think your dad wants me to tell you that.
Absolutely, he would appreciate that. And my boyfriend is debt-free besides his mortgage, so I feel like we're in a really good place.
Okay. All right. Now I feel like I can get out of the way, George.
Thank you for that, Ken. That was
I'm
beautiful.
trying to help out Brittany and Brittany's dad.
And try as you might.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, Brittany, do you have a fully funded emergency fund?
I do.
And there's no other current financial needs, upgrades, repairs, car upgrades that are in your near future?
I don't think so. I thought about maybe upgrading my car, but there's nothing wrong with it. So
Okay. Well, let's leave that alone for now. So if that's the case, if I'm in your shoes, I'm probably going to invest in an S&P index fund or some mutual funds, and you can connect with a SmartVestor Pro on our website who can help you navigate all that. Because that $130,000, you could see it grow at 9, 10, 11, 12% over the next 3 to 5 years if you play your cards right, which could really help with this down payment. You might be able to put 50% down and pay off this house really fast in your 30s. How cool would that be?
That would be awesome.
I love that. So go get connected with one. You can interview a few of them and choose your favorite that you have the best personal chemistry with, that you trust the most, to help navigate what to do with this $130,000 to help it maximize and grow over the next few years.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hey, and I got to know, what's the guy's name?
His name's Mike.
Mike needs to commit. Mike needs to go shopping for a ring. Come on, Brittany. If he asked you today, would you say yes?
Yes.
Man, I'm telling you.
We should do an engagement on air sometime, Ken. That would be fun.
We need to send this clip.
Mike, if you're listening, call in.
Yes.
We'll have Brittany on the other line.
Yeah, we'll officiate the whole question asking.
I'm sure Ken got one of
facilitate.
those. He got one of those online licenses.
Yeah, I'm just saying, she's ready. She's sharp. She's got things going on. What are we waiting on?
The pressure is on, Mike.
I got to tell you, I'd show him this clip because, Mike, I think it's time for you, pal, to draw a line in the sand and tell Brittany you want her to be your wife. What are you waiting on, man? Jeez, George.
This is fun.
These guys.
We're having a good time.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Ken's half joking, but Mike, seriously, call us. I know you're listening. If you're debt-free and you're a Ramsey fan.
I'm not joking. Let's get Mike on. Get him to call in. I'll tell him how to do a great setup to pop the question. We got to make sure Brittany's not listening. So.
That's true.
You see what I mean? All right, folks. More of the Ramsey Show coming up. Ramsey Show continues from our Ramsey Solutions Worldwide headquarters just south of Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Ken Coleman. George Camel is with me. Our scripture of today comes from Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. Our quote of the day from Francis Chan. Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. George, this maybe you should start to question your guitar hobby.
Wow, that was a personal attack on a Friday, Ken. Gosh.
No, you're wildly talented, actually.
You got
George.
no skills on the sixth string. I think it's jealousy.
Oh, 100%.
But I got no skills on the golf course.
I would love to be able to play the guitar like you do.
Thank you.
George is very, very talented, folks.
Thanks for the plug.
Don't forget it. All right, Cody's up next in Orlando, Florida. Cody, how can we help?
Hi, Ken and George. Thanks for answering my call. Sorry, first call.
You bet.
I'm a little nervous.
Oh, you're doing great. We're going to be so nice to you, and you're going to get great answers.
Don't promise that, Ken. I don't know how I feel about this yet.
All right. I'm trying to make her feel good.
Okay, thanks. I just had a quick question. So my husband and I finally started the baby steps full commitment, or we're trying our best, and we're still in baby step 1. We only have about $370 saved so far. We just started this month, we started last month. But our car, my car had some pretty bad maintenance and needed to be worked on, and it's still in the shop. And it's a lot more than what we have in emergency fund. So I'm asking if we should take some money, or really it would be all of it, out of our retirement to cover that cost. I know that's wild, but I'm going back and forth just because it seems like the only other option besides selling the car, I guess, is taking out a credit card without interest for the first 60 days. So we try our best, work really hard to pay it off within that time to have no interest, and then just cut up the card. But I don't want to do that still, but I would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, Cody, the short answer is no. The shorter answer is no. And these are both bad options. And I think you backed yourself into a corner where you go, well, my options are rob my retirement or put it all on a credit card. And the truth is you've got more options than that. So how much is this repair going to cost?
Right now, well, the estimate a couple days ago was about $2,252. But they since recently found out that it was worse than they thought when they finally put the car back together, they said. So it might be about 100 or 200 more. I'm still trying to get a hold of the agent to get the answer on the total, but it's still in the shop, so they're not quite sure when they can.
Is this an engine problem? What's going on?
No, yeah. So I think this is partially my fault, unfortunately. I think they estimate that I was driving with the emergency brake on without realizing. And that really messed up the brakes, the rear brakes, and the calipers and everything, the calipers. So,
but even replacing brakes and calipers is not $2,500.
Yeah, that's why I was going to go in and ask why it's a little bit more than I thought, because he did break down everything in terms of each individual cost.
Did you go to a
like transmission?
Did you go to a? No, it's okay. I'm sorry. Did you go to a dealer?
Yes, but I went thinking I was only getting a wheel alignment.
Yeah, of course.
And I would be.
Okay.
Don't take it to a dealer.
Right. Cody. What kind of car is it?
I didn't know.
That's okay.
It's a Honda Civic.
Okay. Do not take it to the Honda dealer. Okay? So I want you to go get, this is just like a doctor. You're going to go get a second, maybe a third opinion. I want you to talk to everybody you know. I mean, everybody you know. I'm talking Facebook, social media, anything, everybody you know at church, civic clubs, everybody you know, go, hey, I need a reliable, honest mechanic. Who do you go to? And let's get one or two options. Take the car in. If you've got to have it towed, you've got the money. It's a small amount of money, but you've got to give that car over to an honest mechanic. Do not tell them what the dealer charged you. Just say, hey,
I need this looked
at. And let's get some other options, because you go to a dealer, and God bless dealers, but you go in for a windshield wiper fixed and they come back with $900 of things you got to have done. It's total garbage. So don't.
It's where they make the most of their money.
And don't give them $2,200. Get a second or a third opinion. All right, now, George.
Now, when you do that, you said you have a spouse?
Yes, and also it's already in the shop, so they've already been working on it and did most of the work already.
Oh, no.
So that's where I kind of was like, I can't.
So you authorized this for them to do all of this work for $2,500? You signed off?
Yes, and then I regretted it, and that's why I'm calling.
I'm sorry. Well, I didn't know that.
Well, I would have saved us 17 minutes. Okay. So you're on the hook for this. Call it a stupid tax. We got to move forward. We got to pay for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in touch with them and say, listen, I can't pay for this in full. Can I get on a plan to pay this off as quickly as possible?
Yep.
And see what they say if they're willing to work with you. I hope they are. And on top of that, we're not pulling from retirement, and we're not going to credit card debt.
Okay.
What we are going to do is we might lose sleep doing side jobs here and selling every single thing that we own that is not tied down to the house. We're listing it on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. We're asking people around our community what we can do to pick up some extra jobs, and we're going to cash flow this thing, which means we're pausing the baby steps temporarily to cover this emergency.
Okay.
So how quickly could you save up $2,000?
Well, my hope is, I shouldn't say hope, but when I worked out the plan, we should be able to pay it off by next month, like at the latest.
Great.
But, obviously, we're going to try to work really hard to pay it off this month specifically. We do have that $400 in emergency to put something toward it, but that's all we have right now.
Well, just be honest with them and say, listen, I can put 10% down on this payment for this car repair. That's all I have right now, and this is a good faith payment I'm making, and the rest is going to be here on this date, and here's what this looks like.
No.
And they may not release the car until it's paid in full, and so you're going to have to figure out an arrangement to get around until then.
But onward, upward. You're going to get through this, Cody. You guys are on your way. Proud of you. Thank you so much for the call. James is up in Wichita Falls, Texas. James, how can we help?
How are you guys doing?
We're having a blast. We got about 2 minutes or so we're going to try to help you out. What's the question?
So I am wanting to know whether or not I should save up for my wedding, pay off my remaining debt, or just cash flow the rest of my school.
Whoa. Can we do all of this and not go further into debt? That's the question. And if that means pausing on the debt snowball, I'm okay with that. Can you cash flow college and cash flow the wedding?
So the wedding is being paid for by her family.
Nice.
So why are you saying you have to focus on the wedding?
Well, it's more so my marriage rather than the wedding.
What's there to focus on?
I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I should save up more, because I only have about $4,000 saved up. I don't know if that's going to be enough to cover us.
To cover what?
Just cover the marriage.
Marriage doesn't have
I don't even know what that means.
There's no built-in cost to being married.
Is she going to work?
Yes.
All right,
She's
then.
an emergency room nurse.
All right, well, then she's fine. She's covering herself. I don't even know what you mean by cover the marriage.
There's nothing to cover here other than, are there going to be some moving expenses? Where are you guys going to live?
We're going to live in Dallas.
In an apartment?
Yes.
Okay. So we do need to make sure we've got moving expenses covered after the wedding, which is probably going to be in the ballpark of $1,000 maybe?
About $1,500.
Okay, so $1,500's for that, so we're good there. We need to focus
taken care
on
of.
cash flowing college. How much further do you have to get to graduate?
I will be done in May.
Nice.
And do you have the money currently, or have you already paid?
I do.
All right, so once the final bill is paid, then we can go after attacking this debt, and if the wedding's paid for, then we're good. So as soon as you've got those two things buttoned up, let's start attacking this debt and cleaning as much as we can up before we get married.
Okay.
That's the game plan.
There it is, James. I love that. Boy, that's the first time I've heard that one before.
I didn't know there was a built-in cost to marriage.
How much do I need to cover the
It's
marriage?
like a dowry. Like you just give Stacy upon the wedding day, here's $5,000.
Oh, man. That's fantastic.
And a sheep.
Yeah. That's a tradition in many countries still.
right.
You got to come with cattle.
I don't know how that works.
You got to have a cattle offering.
I did have a camel at my wedding, so maybe that was part of it.
Yeah, well, that was a great prop. George Campbell, always fun to be with you, pal.
too.
Thanks to Kelly and the crew behind the glass for all they do to make the show so great. Thank you, America, for listening. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from The Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.